You are now listening to It's the Social Media by the Plus Money.
Hello.
Welcome back, guys. It's your girl, the Plush Mommy. I am Plush and I am a mommy. That is why I have that name. And we have a special guest with us on It's Just Social Media. Welcome, Jihane.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Of course.
All right, so Jihane, I'm not going to be able to do justice about how amazing you are and the resume that comes with who you are. So could you please let the people know who you are?
All right. Well, I will try after that introduction. So I'm Jihane. I currently live in South Florida. Previous to that, I was in LA. And Right now, I work as a senior specialist experting in paid social.
Woo! Expertising.
Yeah.
So here's a fun fact, everyone. I met Jihane through Facebook.
Very social.
So if you want to know just how important social media is, I just want y'all to understand social media is this cool. I met her through my college roommate back in 2005 on Facebook, and Facebook was only a year old at the time, and my college roommate let me know that I would love this girl because this girl is so great and she's so perfect and she's so everything and oh my god, she's so amazing. And I was like, okay. And so then I get a friend request from said girl and I'm like, okay.
I did request you.
I'm like, okay. So apparently my roommate's telling her about me. And funny thing, I go on her Facebook and she's living the best life I could ever think of in college. We're both watching each other on Facebook and we're the best of friends on Facebook. And this is the first time I've ever seen Facebook connect people that didn't know each other.
Right.
I didn't even think that was possible because back then, we were all wary
of Facebook, of the internet in general.
Because people were getting snatched up. Like, this is weird.
Yes.
And I remember watching your journey from literally like sophomore year to now. And I was just like, she is so perfect.
No.
And I love her so much.
Please don't say that.
You don't even know.
I love you. I love your journey. I loved seeing you and Melissa's college life because I went to college in New Jersey, so up north.
I wanted to go to that school.
Well, to my exact college?
Yes, I applied to that school.
No.
Yes.
I don't know why. That was the only school I applied to.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't really want to go to college. Children go to college if you want
It's good.
to. It's good. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Works out.
Yeah. I didn't know that. But yeah, no, I was loving seeing the South Florida life because I grew up here and I was looking at you all at FIU and I was like, this looks like fun because it was a lot of the parties that you got all would attend and I was like, this looks like fun.
I partied too hard.
I know, listen.
It was too much. I was like, Melissa's like, I'm going to the library. I was like, oh, I'm going to the party.
She got it in a little too.
She did, but she made time for her schoolwork. I did not. I learned that lesson the hard way. Well, I graduated, thank you, Jesus, but
and
Lord knows.
Doing well. So.
What? Listen, thank you, all, but God. Either way, it's a journey, and we met at Melissa's wedding, ironically enough.
We did. That was the first time we had our meeting. We said, this is Jihane, this is Neff. Hello, how are you? It's been about 8 years.
8 years
of
later.
us following each other's lives. It is so wonderful to meet you.
Oh my God. I think that is one of my favorite stories ever is just how that we connected through Facebook and how full circle we meet because of Facebook through the person who introduced us and then full circle again. You're now on my social media podcast and we're about to talk about paid social on Facebook. Your expertise, like you said earlier, is in paid social. For those of you guys who don't know, there has been a huge boycott going on with Facebook. The people are not happy. The people have feelings, okay? They want to talk about it. And so McDonald's, I believe, Coca-Cola, and some other major brands have pulled their paid social ads from Facebook. The reasons that they have cited have mainly been because Mark Zuckerberg and his team, they have not been doing a very good job at handling
like hate speech.
Correct. The hate speech rhetoric. Ever since the George Floyd incident back in May? Was it May? Gosh. The world burned.
It's just been blurring.
It's been blurring because honestly, the hate speech issue that they've had has been ongoing.
But it surfaced and became a major source of contention during the George Floyd protests.
Yeah.
And then especially, culminating in the July boycott.
Yes. And so then everyone decided they're just going to boycott Facebook. But now here's what I'm noticing. By them boycotting Facebook, the prices have gotten a little bit more affordable for the smaller businesses.
And so that was a definite benefit for those small businesses.
So now I'm like, I want to fight the power.
But exactly.
I want to also,
join the cause and really use your voice and your platform to make sure that you're investing in a platform that actually is socially conscious and, doesn't involve itself in hate speech and isn't so permissible to Trump and everything that he says, which has often been incorrect.
Everything.
All of it.
Everything. If he said he was a white man, I'd be like, you're a liar! I would not. I can't believe him. Where do you stand on this boycott? First of all, let's start with that.
God. Well, for me personally, as a marketer who works for an agency, I do have clients and I am beholden to their business goals and their KPIs. Mm-hmm. That being said, there were a lot of my clients who decided to not advertise on Facebook during the month of July. Not a lot of the clients decided to do that. I think it was around 26% of our clients or my clients.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the rest stayed on Facebook, but went dark during July 7th, which was Blackout Day.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Blackout Tuesday.
Blackout Tuesday, yes. And so that's pretty much what I was seeing in terms of it. Where I feel is, I would have loved for all my clients to pull off of Facebook, to really take that stand. I think
really?
I believe in the power of Facebook. I believe in the power of Instagram. If I didn't, I wouldn't have the role that I do have. But, when you are in a position of power, there is a responsibility that falls upon you. And the best way to make your voice heard, oftentimes in the corporate setting, is hurting the pockets. So I would have loved that to happen. But at the end of the day, there are businesses, there are goals, there are KPIs. And so you do have to be sensitive to that because it is a trickle effect in some way.
You think the boycott would have been more effective if there wasn't a pandemic outside? Because then they would have been able to market their businesses other ways.
Mm-hmm, as opposed to online.
Right.
They would have been able to go to brick and mortar stores. Mm-hmm. And so right now that's not possible because of the pandemic. So it was like the perfect storm, essentially. But what we have seen is the people who decided to remove themselves off of Facebook for August have gone back, because paid social is incredibly powerful in Facebook and Instagram. And the difference between paid social and organic is all the followers that you've earned. So you've earned the followers, you've earned your community there. The power of paid social is you're paying to get that reach. You get that extended reach to reach those audiences that you want to tap into, to then, either sell your product, to either get a lead, or whatever it is that your business wants to do. So that's the power of paid social.
Right. I think for me, I do believe the boycott would have been effective if everyone got off, but I also feel bad for the business owners because a lot of my clients are small business owners,
right, or
medium-sized business owners. Right. And what I'm noticing is that they can't afford to boycott Facebook.
That's the trickle down
in a pandemic. Mm-hmm. Like there's nothing you can, especially when they can't physically have a store right now, or they couldn't physically, especially at that time when we were under quarantine. There was no other form that was as effective. I love Google AdWords, trust me, but it's not as effective as a Facebook ad could be. Mm-hmm. And it's and Instagram or, Pinterest or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then I also thought about, there are other paid socials like Pinterest, there's TikTok, there's so many other avenues that we could have used and utilized. And I think that may have gone underutilized because we were so focused on Facebook's reach. And I'm trying to figure out how effective is a Facebook ad for a bigger business to pull out, because for them to pull out so easily, Coca-Cola,
they have billions.
I don't know the last time I saw a Coca-Cola ad on a Facebook page in the first place.
Right. But you have to remember, Coca-Cola owns so many other different businesses. True. So those are the businesses that are pulling out.
Okay. Right. There you go.
Right. So, but it's interesting what you said about the other social platforms, right? Because there's Pinterest, there's Twitter, there's TikTok.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other social platforms that do have the capability to advertise. The thing is, their reach is just not as far as Facebook or Instagram. And what we did find is during July, and because they weren't advertising on Facebook and Instagram, those dollars did go more heavily into your Google AdWords. They did go more heavily into your Pinterest, into your Snapchat. And, you know, we did see results. You know, those social platforms are really strong with growing the awareness for that particular brand, introducing people to a particular brand. And so you'll learn about that brand on those other platforms. But then when you're hit with the social ad on Facebook, then that's when we hopefully have you do that conversion.
So let's talk about, because we use a lot of words that I don't think people know. The thing about social media in general, especially on this podcast, is for people who either want to learn it or also people who want to like get better at it. One thing we said for sure is KPIs. First of all, what is a KPI?
Got it. So KPI is a key performance indicator.
Okay. Those are the key things that you check for your performance. So the indicators of, for instance, how many people you gained, how much engagement has increased, how much impressions you've gotten, and then of course with conversion for paid social, how many people clicked and actually bought your product or service. So with the paid social, now that they're back on paid social, have you seen like an influx of purchases? Have you seen numbers change, numbers decrease? Have you seen anything like that?
So it really varies by
product.
Right, exactly. Luckily for me, most of my clients who turned off in July turned them right back on in August. It was maybe a 7 to 8 day period where the system had to relearn, but for the most part, we are hitting our KPIs, and so there wasn't too much of a lag.
That's because you're just really good at it. Let's just say. So here's the thing. Do you think business, now we're going to shift gears because that's the boycott.
Right.
And the boycott is one thing. And I do think, I will say this, with Facebook, I do think Facebook is problematic, especially when it comes to how they monitor hate speech. And I don't want them to use the quarantine as a reason, because oftentimes I get these messages whenever I post something, and because I'm a problematic poster, whatever. But I get these messages when I post something, and the funny thing about them is, it's the quarantine and we don't have enough people watching things, so please be patient with us. You know what I don't like about that is you guys are already doing that anyway. He was already not monitoring things properly anyway. I had an ad be denied on Instagram,
right,
because I used the word peace. I said, please have peace with us or something like that. Peace be with you or something like that. And so they thought I was doing social justice in the ad, and they don't want you to use social justice as an ad. Yes. And I was like...
That is incredibly problematic, and Facebook has been notorious for that.
And I'm just like, you guys aren't even paying attention. One time I was making a joke in a group and I said, women are selfish. You're going to be blocked for 30 days because you're using hate speech. What? First of all, women are selfish.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about it. They were just, it was like women, no, that's literally what that was the statement. That was the statement. It was like women are selfish. That was the statement. And they were just like, no, there was a conversation because we were talking about the reciprocation issue in dating. And I was just like, women are taught to be selfish. Like, you got to pay for this. You got to do this. You got to court me. You got to do this for me.
Right.
Me. And I'm just like, what you doing for him? And so I said, women are selfish. Hate speech. I got in trouble. Zuckerberg came for my life.
What do you mean you got in trouble?
They blocked my page. For 30, I went to Facebook jail.
For 30 days.
For 30 days.
Maybe somebody reported you.
No one reported me.
Really?
In this particular group, the way we talk, it all the time.
Nobody would report you.
Oh, and the way they do it is like someone said men are stupid. She ends up going in jail. Another person some things are put up there that obviously you're going to get in trouble.
Yes.
There's whatever, but the hate speech is the number one culprit on Facebook that I see for the most innocuous statements.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. And then the weird part is when you go in the comment section of any of these major outlets, of any of these posts, and oh my goodness, the protest posts, the comment section for Trump, the people are saying real actual hate speech and they're flourishing.
But I think it's an issue with how Facebook flags. They use a lot of automation, and often feel, I don't have any evidence of this, but if you look at the different creators on Facebook, there's a clear evidence that certain creators are targeted and are reprimanded more harshly than others, and we will say it is a race situation.
I'm really glad that you said that.
Yes, because Black creators get targeted a lot more harshly than non-Black creators.
Let's talk about that for a little bit, because I have a friend. She's shout out to Black Professionals Network. They have a page on Facebook. She is the owner of that company and that major network. Their whole thing is to have Black professionals network with one another, and so she creates these avenues for them to to meet each other. I ended up working with her company for an event that they put on every year, which is the Black Professional Summit, and so I had to be admin of her Facebook page. Yep. So by me being admin of her Facebook page, suddenly I found myself getting what I felt like was targeted.
Yes.
And so posts were not working on my personal page. Her posts weren't working on her personal page. Other people could post it, but she couldn't. I couldn't post, and I was like, what's going on? So I said, do me a favor, check if anyone who is not a moderator and admin of this page posts, and see if the post goes up. Post works fine. I said, that means it's you, because you have Black professionals in the thing, and therefore they think, they're coming for you. And I realize whenever you put Black in front of something, or, and mind you, these are groups out here that say white power.
Right. And that's the issue. That's what brought up the boycott, because they were being permissive with hate speech for other groups and then being incredibly hard for other groups.
Yeah. I feel like they're trying to make an example.
Exactly.
I think they're trying to make an example, and they're trying to say, well, Black people can't say the same things that white people do, and therefore whatever. And I think it's almost like they have blinders on.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't have enough, there's no Jerome the intern, and they don't have enough people in their camp who look like us to say, no, that's not right. Because, they think they look like us because they're from India or they're, Black something. But what I'm noticing is just because people have brown skin don't mean we all hang out in the same cookout. Like, that's not how this works.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where we need to make that delineation of people of color, Black people.
Right.
We need to be more intentional. Because,
with cultures.
Exactly. Because what affects Black people does not affect Asians, does not affect Asian Indians the same way as they affect Black people. So I think that is also a topic of conversation.
That's a really good point, because with the Indian community, especially with the IT community, hacker community, Black people or Indian people or Asian people or white people, that community is a whole different world. I used to be in an engineering magnet program in high school. I was there, and I remember dealing with these engineering computer geeks, whatever, and some of them wanted to be computer engineers, some of them wanted to be IT professionals. I'm going to tell you something. They have no idea what's going on outside of this computer.
What do you mean?
They're the most antisocial human beings on the planet exist.
I don't believe that.
I kid you not. I love them. Shout out to Coral Park. Y'all are the best people in the world. But my God, it would be like, I gotta get that done. And I was like, are you gonna look up from your computer?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it has anything to do with, them and their culture. I think maybe they're just single-minded in terms of they like the tech. And so it takes so much to do that. So they're just single-minded in that.
Maybe. It could be. I don't know. I watched the documentary on Netflix. They put it out there, and they said, when you have only these 2 or 3 communities represented in your internet, that's only going to be the thing that the internet recognizes as those communities.
That's powerful.
And that's something that I realized. So if you had more Black people in there, then you wouldn't have issues of facial recognition software not being able to tell the difference between my face and your face. Which, by the way, literally happens. Every time I put a picture up of her, I promise you, bloop, did you want to tag Nefertiti? That's not me. We're not the same person. I don't understand. But I realize that they don't see the nuances of our face. They don't see the differences because they don't have the exposure to the community. And then with the Black people who are in the community, they are affected by these social justice issues, same as us. But because they're also a part of this community, the tech community, they're not as involved or as aware. And that's something that I'm realizing, because I had my IT friends like, what's the big deal? I don't understand what's going on. And I'm like, dude,
it's a big deal.
We are on fire outside. What are you doing?
Deal.
It's a dumpster fire. So that's something that I wish would
just translate more. The thing that happens is people miss empathy. Empathy is not there.
That's really it.
So,
and I think the empathy is not there because of the leadership that we have in office. But that's we're not gonna do that.
It okays it, and there it goes back to that boycott.
Exactly.
Because one of the issues was the permissive nature of Facebook.
I heard they lost billions of dollars from that boycott, so it was effective some way.
I mean, it was.
I mean, I'm still getting tagged and
You're
flagged.
still getting, people are still advertising. Mark Zuckerberg is still making billions of dollars on the daily.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have to understand, we're about to hit Q4. And for everyone out there, Q4 for most businesses is one of the most important quarters because you're hitting October, November, December, which is when the bulk of holiday shopping begins.
Right.
So they make up a lot of their revenue in that period. So I completely foresee, and this is why during the boycott, yes, I was happy to see some businesses partake in it. And there are some who are still, to my knowledge, I think Ben & Jerry's has still not gone back on the platform.
No, they're not going back.
Yeah, and Ben & Jerry's has been doing that work for a long time. So we have to give them their flowers and their props because they really have been using their voice to amplify all of the injustices. But for the most part, for all of the other advertisers who need to make up their revenue during Q4, they're going to go back on Facebook and Instagram, which is why I really did call this Facebook boycott performative corporate wokeness. I completely did not buy into it, but me being somebody who, services clients, have to, give my expertise, give my, execution skills. So
that's the title of the show. And we got the title for today's episode: Performative Corporate Wokeness.
That's what it is.
Hey there. Boom. Because honestly, that's why show your receipts was so powerful. When they came out and because I work in plus size fashion, and there was two brands who were coming out with the black boxes and the raised fists, and all of a sudden you see black influencers getting featured more. I was like, oh, okay. Let me ask you a question though, real quick. I just want to know how many black people do you have in your office though? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's just this.
We're working on this.
This
is a new thing.
And I'm just like, why is this new now? Why? And the problem is they don't seem to understand why it's so important to have that there.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't mind. The thing about social media and this is the organic side of things now. With organic, in order for you to earn these followers, you have to be transparent. There's a level of transparency and authenticity that is required for people to trust your brand.
Right.
And you guys have been transparent with your brand, all the happy little fun things you guys do in the office, but it's all one color. And unfortunately, us as the consumers, the black folks, we have just said, okay, whatever, just give me the shirt. I don't care. And we never really put you guys to task for it because we just wanted the shirt. But then when it came time to put up or shut up, all of a sudden you're like, we stand with you. But I said, where? When?
Right. When was this?
When was this? I don't understand.
And when all of that started happening, I think for me, just as a natural, just who I am as a person, the Libra in me, all Libras out there, we tend to give people a lot of grace, I feel. Lord. Keep the diplomacy going. When you did see that, I was very encouraged. I was just like, okay, you have shown no evidence of this, but you are showing that you are working towards this. So you know what? I will give you the benefit of the doubt. I will like your posts. I will read your company manifestos. Yeah. I will read your, whatever you decide to put out there in terms of how you're going to be better. And so, I am still I was encouraged by it, and I'm still encouraged by it, but it definitely is waning because I think as we've naturally seen and what I expected is the support is falling back. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's getting old for it's the burden is hard.
Because now Breonna Taylor's become a meme.
Right.
But yet you guys, are you going to just keep posting that she should have justice, or are you guys going to actually work towards it? You guys have more power and more leverage to get some change done than any of us posting this. And they have more, you understand, like you have the power to tell your customers that this woman needs justice.
Right.
You're telling it, you're putting it out there and it's cute. Now you're selling t-shirts. Let's I don't think you guys understand.
It's getting rough out there.
That's real, and that's all facts. Let's move to a more exciting, I guess, fun topic. What is your favorite social media platform?
Ooh. Immediately what came to mind is Twitter. I love Twitter. I love Black Twitter. I get a lot of information. It is just fun. It's a party. It's a good time. If you're not on Twitter, Well, stay on Twitter. Stay off of Twitter. Keep it for us. But Twitter is a good time. And I also do like Instagram. And I know Instagram is everybody's highlight reel, but I like seeing people, posting their happiness, posting the good things in their life, posting the pretty things, inspirational. So I think Twitter is definitely number one, followed by Instagram, quick second.
I am still an Instagram lover.
Yes.
I love Twitter so much. But then at the same time,
Instagram.
The only reason why, as a professional, I hate Twitter only because I'm sitting there scrolling through and I can see whole porn and also see a president tweet in the same moment of scroll. And I'm
I think for me, coming from a journalistic background and, just seeing Twitter as the source of, breaking things just based on the chatter on Twitter is probably why I like Twitter. But I'm here for your Instagram.
I love the pictures. That's the thing. It's just the pressure. Once you move into the influencer world of Instagram, it's so much pressure.
It is.
And then it's not fun anymore.
It's not.
I used to love just posting cute things that my daughter did or whatever. But now it's I'm the plush mommy, so now my daughter has to be done.
Instagram did make it more pressure. I remember in the early days of Instagram, I remember when people using
the filters.
X Pro 2, those kind of filters. You take a picture of your fun sock for the day and then you put it on Instagram with the filter. I loved that. Or a random meal. Now, people have themes on their Instagram.
It's curated. And that's actually a strategy that works.
Right.
I actually tell my clients, okay, so we're going to curate your Instagram. Now we're calling it brand identity. And we're putting it as an identity for your brand. So we get, graphics that match with your brand colors and your matching fonts for the quotes and all the things. And as I talk about Instagram now, I always feel like this is not even real. I feel bad sometimes. I'm like,
People are putting on a show.
I'm teaching you how to put a show on. And I feel so bad because I'm like, be authentic, but also
follow this guideline.
Follow the guidelines. And it's it doesn't make sense. Paid social.
Yep.
So your expertise with paid social and why is paid social important? Let's just go into that because I know that there's a small business owner and then there's a big business owner. And both of them would probably tell you that social media is just whatever.
Yeah.
Do you feel like everyone who owns a business should at least put $20 a month towards paid social?
I think if you are trying to grow your business in any way, sell a product in any way, and you have the funds to do so, then yes, because what you're going to do is you're going to increase your overall reach. Instead of just hitting your followers, which, say you have 1,000 followers and you have 5,000 pairs of shirts, you want to be able to reach as many people as possible. So yes, if you have the funds to do so, I definitely believe in the power of paid social. It really does increase your brand awareness. It increases ad recall, recognition, everything.
What is ad recall?
So if you're constantly seeing a brand's ad on your feed and, say you don't remember the name of the brand or whatever it is, if you're hit on Google or something, you'll remember that visual that you saw on social. So, you're going to recall it. So if you start to Google it, it'll help you remember.
It does take 7 times to see something before someone makes the decision.
Exactly. So
true. Because them ads will follow you.
They will follow you.
I want to get to the place of paid social where I'm really good at the retargeting aspect of it, where somebody goes on this website and then the paid social ad will pop up.
Yep.
And then the Instagram ad is going to pop up. And then you're in the shower and then it's whispered in your ear. And then, I want to get, or when you say the word, I literally said Audi out loud in my room. And then suddenly Carvana and CarMax and everyone starts to
show you those Audis.
How?
And Facebook will tell you that their microphone does not, record what you say to then hit you with ads. That it's 100% they deny that. But that has happened to me as well. So I don't know.
I do think they're watching us.
They are. Listen, we do put code on each and every site that we want to target you with ads with so we can, you know.
You guys are so fancy. My little company, my agency.
I will help you.
You are helping me. No, you help me. So listen, my clients, and I tell them all the time, listen, I have help. It's not me. I'm not, this ain't my ministry. Organic is my ministry. I've learned that now.
And you're so good at it.
Oh man, thank you so much.
You're so good at it.
Thanks. I'm like, it's so much more stressful than paid social. I love paid social when you just put the ad out and then the comments just happen and then click-throughs and then conversion and then numbers.
Right.
It's all so direct. If I spend this much, I should get this kind of return back.
Hopefully.
But you can estimate it.
You can estimate it.
I can't do that with organic. If you spend this much money on me,
it might happen.
You know, people, in my experience, people really like when you show pictures of your baby.
Right. Let's be engaging.
Let's just talk to people. I don't know. We'll see. That's what it feels like. It feels so like gambling.
With organic.
Yeah, it feels like I'm gambling. I'm good at it, so I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I'm just throwing caution to the wind. It's a lot of research, it's a science to it, but still, it's whatever. You know what I also noticed? Businesses haven't taken social media seriously. It's only been 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, and I'd even say since maybe 2017 even. Yeah. Because even now you still have businesses having interns run their social media. And I just think that is so incredibly disrespectful.
Let me see you praise it. We gotta make a declaration in this house tonight. Can I make a declaration? Everywhere I go, I got it. Everywhere I go, everywhere that I go, everywhere that I walk.
To put that kind of pressure on somebody who is not even starting in the professional world, hasn't even entered the professional world. And social media, that is your brand voice. So why are you having a college second year speaking for you as a car company, as a food company? It makes no sense to me.
What you just said is a word. Oh, it's always these companies I talk to and they're like, I got a guy, and it'd be their nephew. And I'm like, what?
It's always a nephew.
I respect your nephew. I do. But let me explain something to you. I've been in this game since the beginning. We was hanging out with Tom. Okay? Right. We was coding before coding was cool. Don't try my life, please. Right. We're not out here, like, we know what this is. Like, you're gonna ask a 15-year-old boy, Gen Z, you go ask this little 15-year-old, can he tell you your ROI? Does he know what that even means? Which is return on investment. But still, you can't do that. What you doing? Like, this, it's insane. What is that? That makes my skin hurt.
And then when something happens that, you know, messes with the brand dignity, they want to act like, oh, we don't know what happened. I'll tell you what happened. Your nephew
don't know what he's doing.
He messed your brand up for the, you know, foreseeable future.
The people who love to be like, I've been in social media for 25 years. It's not been around for 25 years, ma'am.
I mean,
what
perhaps
are you saying?
Perhaps marketing, traditional marketing. I mean, I believe you there.
Digital marketing hasn't been around for 25 years. You couldn't do a Google ad until 15 years ago.
I think I saw something where it was asking for, you know, like a VP or a director of social something, and they wanted you to have like 18 plus years of experience. And I was looking at this and I was just like, you know, this makes no sense, so I'm going to dismiss you.
You can't ask for that. That doesn't make sense. But they don't know what to ask for. And the thing is, they don't understand. People don't like to take social. This is literally the reason why the title of the show is what it is. It is not just social media. Social media is not something that you just throw things on. Because for a lot of my clients, they just believe, let's just throw everything on every platform all at the same time, and let's just see what sticks. Let's just do an ad. Let's just put $50 here. Let's just do $50. I'm like, what is the goal with the $50? Exactly. Is it that you don't have more, or is it that you just want to see?
And you just said something very smart there. What's the goal?
That's it. You guys have to know your goals. And the problem is they don't know their goals. They don't really know. A lot of business owners, they just kind of want, their goal is to make more money. And in their mind, they don't see why they need to know any more specifics than that. No? Okay, cool. Anybody that likes to buy your product more than the other person? What does that person look like? Like, these things are just, I'm learning.
These are the questions, you know, especially when you say, what's the goal? And, you know, if you're going to throw money to something, it's social, Facebook platform, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, they will take your money. they will happily take your money if you throw at it on time, and they will spend it in full.
Yes.
And if you don't have a goal, it is going to be wasted money.
Yeah.
So before you throw any dollars behind a campaign, behind anything, you really need to figure out what it is that what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get people to buy your product? Are you trying to drive people to your site?
And they'll ask you.
Yeah, they ask you.
What's the goal here?
It's a guided creation.
It's so simple. It's so easy. And I'm like, they ask you. But
this is why they need people like you, people like us, because a lot of these businesses don't have it. And, you know, it's not just social media. It's a whole strategy behind it. It's social is part of people's marketing now. I mean, at least for most of my clients, it is ingrained in their marketing. When they go in every year to figure out what their dollars will be to market their product, social makes up a big chunk of that budget. And so it really is becoming something that is, you know, being more forefront. So
I think the issue is that they're afraid of putting themselves out there on social media because they see social media take whole companies down. Mm-hmm. People tweet the wrong thing one time and cancel culture. The nephew, your nephew comes in and ruins it. And it's like, you can't use your nephew, the intern, to do that. You really need to get someone in there. Now, this is why I love Twitter, is that the people behind those Twitter brands are doing it right. Some of those Twitter brands,
they are so good. Like Wendy's comes to mind. Oh, whoever runs Wendy's Twitter,
I want to meet that person so bad.
He is so excellent at their job.
It has to be a she. I feel in my heart it has to be a she. In my heart, I feel it has to be a she. I swear to God.
Those clapbacks come.
Oh, they're
come
so
hard.
good.
But whatever pronoun is running that,
please keep going. We love you so much. I want to be that for so many companies. You have no idea. I want them to hire Brooklyn Social so bad. I swear. I really want, what my goal is for Brooklyn, and I don't think I've ever said this on the show, I really want Brooklyn to be the black person in the room for these companies. So that,
on it.
Yeah, because I feel like you guys don't know, and then you tweet things or post things on Facebook or Instagram, and you're like, ooh. It's like, I want to be able to get the ad and be like, did you know there's a monkey on this shirt?
Right.
Like, did you guys know that? I think you guys should check that out before I post this. I think it's going to be a real thing.
A lot of the ads that come to me from my clients, sometimes I take a look at it. I'm just like, you're going to get in trouble because you don't have the right people in the room to tell.
And they don't listen to you?
Huh? No, I mean, I'll flag it, yes.
Yeah.
But before it comes to me, why did it come to me?
Why did it get to you?
Who was in the room that allowed this to happen?
Right.
And therein lies a foundational issue.
And they don't take us seriously because we're like, this won't bode well on social media. Somebody tweeted that the other day. And he said, social media manager, this won't translate well on social media. Client, I don't care. It's going to look great. Don't worry about it. And he's like, okay, post it. Why is everyone mad at me? What happened? And he's like, I told you this won't translate on social media. And I'm just like, I feel like they don't listen to us as much. And it's just more of like...
I don't see a big deal about this. You don't see the big deal, but I'm telling you, it's a big deal.
My nephew's on TikTok. He says that doesn't happen on TikTok. Okay. All right.
Fine.
Your nephew represents 2 million people in your demographic and target market. No problem. No problem. It's fun. Anyway, where can the people find you? Can they find you? Are they allowed to find you on the social medias?
No, I am not findable. Because I am not an influencer. I am a regular person with a regular job.
Please don't come find Jihane. Don't find her. Don't find Jihane.
If you want to, connect, I do have a LinkedIn account. You can potentially find me there. It's linkedin.com/JihaneJ.
Woo! That's
if you can spell that.
She's like, I'm on Twitter, but I didn't want to tweet you.
That's no, we're not. Yes, I am not findable.
Don't find me, please. That cracked me up so bad. I'm not findable. Don't, please. Don't find me. No. All right. Well, as you guys know, this is just social media. You can find me everywhere. I'm very findable. I am on, for the business page, of course, as you know, Brooklyn Social. You can find me on Instagram, Brooklyn_social, or on Facebook, Brooklyn Social Media Marketing, and Twitter, media_Brooklyn. Thank you, Twitter, for being such haters. And then, of course, if you want to find my personal influencer page, it's fine, because I'm a nano influencer now.
Yay!
I am the Plush Mommy on all platforms. Thank you for letting letting me have it on all platforms, unlike Brooklyn Social.
All right.
Again, and of course, for bookings, brooklyn-social.com. I'm totally available to meet your social media needs. And of course, Jihane is here to help you out. Also, thanks for that. And again, I love you guys. Always remember, spread love, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.